Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to be walking through a character creation video for the new Shadow of the Demon Lord rule set. I'm Gwydion, and I'll be acting as your GM today during this walkthrough.
G'day everyone, it's Damned here, and I will be the player, and Gwydion is going to coach me through the character creation steps.
Awesome. So I'll be using the character creation reference manual, but I'll just walk you through it today, Damned. So if you open your character button on the right-hand side and spin up a new tune to start, we can begin. So now that you have your character open, you're going to start by naming your character. So pick a good name. You can always change it later if you don't like it.
All right, I'm going to be Runehammer.
Okay. And now to make sure you choose a portrait. Again, something you can change later.
So we've got a bunch of Shadow of the Demon Lord portraits here, and I'm going to choose this dwarf character.
Now, the first thing you're going to select now is your ancestry. So if you look right below your name, there's a little gray box button that you can click on to open your ancestry choices.
Awesome.
So we have six choices from the core rulebook. So take a look at those and decide which appeals to you.
All right. I'm going to choose the dwarf character.
Awesome. Now, so you can drag the little red square and drag and drop that onto your character sheet. Perfect. Now you can see that it's updated your stats. So all of your stats now should match what a dwarf gets as a starting character.
Okay. Yeah.
And at this stage, if you want, you don't have to, but it's an optional rule that you can raise one stat by one and lower one stat by one. So if you know you want to be a certain path already, you can raise or lower a stat, or do it at the end of this if you'd like.
Gotcha.
So now if you have the dwarf button open, make sure you click on the dwarf to open him. And then if you scroll towards the bottom, you'll see starting talents. And what you'll need to do is drag and drop those starting talents, which should say dwarf 0, and drop them on your character sheet.
Gotcha. All right, I've done that.
Perfect. So now we're going to switch to the character tab.
Okay.
And then once you're on the character tab, you're going to drag and drop your languages. Now, in this case, you'll notice in the dwarf tab that it tells you that you speak the common tongue, but you speak, read, and write dwarfish. So if you click on those little circles, you'll see that it'll tell you also read and write. Perfect. The next section we're going to walk through is professions. So do the same thing on that same sheet. Click on the gray button next to professions, and you get your choice of 2. So pick whichever 2 professions that, again, appeal to you. There's no need to pick a certain type.
All right, I've chosen the beggar and the gambler.
Awesome. Perfect. So let's go back to, if you still have your dwarf sheet open.
I do.
Then scroll to the bottom where it says tables. And we'll just do a few of these for this video, but you'll see tables for appearance, age, background. So roll on a couple of those so we can add some flavor to your character.
Okay, I'm 51 to 100 years old, so I'm going to give myself 88 years old.
Okay. So I see you're on your character tab and you're putting those under the descriptors, right? Perfect.
I stay clean and oil my facial hair.
I like it.
Braided beard. All right, very good.
So now if you click on those little chat boxes next to them, those will actually appear in chat, correct? Yeah, perfect. Awesome. So now if you want to switch to your gear tab, we're going to give you your starting equipment. So for this video, we're just going to say that you start with getting by is kind of the level of wealth you're starting with. So if you open your parcel, is it? Yep, it is. So click on parcel, and then you should be able to drag and drop that right into you. There you go. Get updating. Perfect. So now you'll see everything shows as a bag on the gear tab. So if you click on what you want equipped, it'll change to an E to show that you have it equipped.
All right. I've equipped a backpack, a club, and some clothing.
Perfect. So the last thing that we need to do for the moment is just select your interesting thing. So it's kind of something that's unique for you. So you're going to open the interesting thing table, and you're going to roll on that and find your interesting thing.
All right, so I'm going to roll the interesting things. That sounds if you want, amazing.
You can again, I love it. You can put that again in descriptor if you want, or yeah, that's probably the best place for it.
A sack filled with rotten chicken parts. All right, that's going to come in handy, I bet.
Yes, it will. I'm quite sure it will. Awesome. So now if we go back to your main tab, so the front sheet of your character sheet, you'll now see all the attacks that you have. So you'll see your staff shows you have your die where you can roll the attack. You have 1d6 plus 1 for your weapon damage. Yep. Perfect. And you can see that it shows in chat the weapon, what type of attack it is, a melee attack, and it's attacking against the defense of whatever NPC or monster that you're selecting. So on the main tab, you'll see the weapon damage. You'll also see if the weapon is carried or equipped. You'll see whether it's a melee, ranged, or other type of weapon. And then again, you can change the stat in the column on your main sheet. And then next to those, if you for some reason, let's say, had a weapon that's cumbersome, you could raise the bane or boon, which are the two. The white number is a boon and the red number is a bane. So if you control and scroll up, there you go. It should, yep. So you've got your club with one bane now, and every time you roll, it would roll with a bane.
All right, awesome.
So that's the basics. So you have a level 0 character. Now what would typically happen next is you'd go on your starting adventure. So the way that Schwab has set these up for Shadow the Demon Lord, you start with starting adventures. Once you finish that, you would then level up. So it's kind of a level up by adventure completed system. So once you do that, we would say that we've done our first adventure. So now you're going to select your path. So up at the top right of the main section of your character sheet next to Novice, you'll hit that gray button again to open your Novice paths.
And I'm just going to filter these paths out and just choose the Novice ones.
Perfect. So yep, there should be 4 options. So you can choose one of those and then drag and drop it onto your character sheet.
Okay, so I'm going to choose the Rogue. Drag that onto my sheet.
Perfect. Now that you have that, you'll see when you open the Rogue, you'll see there are different levels. So we're a level 1. It's the first tab at the very bottom that you'll see. And you have 2 attributes. So you can actually raise 2 attributes by 1. So you can pick whichever ones you'd like to raise, and you can raise them by 1.
All right.
And do I
level up first?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually probably better to do that. So if you double click on the level right underneath your name,
okay,
and then you'll see in chat, it tells you that
gotcha.
You do increase 2 attributes by 1.
All right, so I'm going to bump strength and will. I'm going to bump strength and intellect up by 1 each.
Excellent. And then you can go back and you have your talents, so you can drag your path talents onto your sheet.
Got it.
And then finally, it looks like you have rogue training. So if you'd like to, you can roll on that table to get your rogue training. And again, that's one that if you want, it might be easier to put it under your descriptors on your character tab.
All right. So I used to be a member of the Watch.
Awesome. Now you have a level 1 character for Shadow the Demon Lord.
Fantastic. Awesome. All right. Thanks for that, Alan. So next video, you're going to teach me how to do some combat rolls?
Sounds great.
Fantastic. Awesome.
Looking forward to it.